Welcome back to Ragebrew's Ranting again. Sorry for going back to the little chibi mine, but I've ran out of neat and interesting art that I can call my own. So we're using ammo once again. Now, gun control. Dakka, dakka, dakka. I do love me some dakka. I can happily wave around the crazy gun nut banner because I've got a small armory worth of guns and ammunition in my basement. IATF. But I also believe that the access to firearms should be checked, for lack of a better word. Because what is a gun? When you strip away all the layers of what it is, a gun is a tool for hurling a small rock at supersonic speeds to kill something. That's it. It is a little tube of metal that spits rocks fast enough to kill something. Oh, you can get into the semantics of it. You can get into the history and mythology of the gun. But when you peel all that shit away, it's just a metal tube that spits rocks. Because that's all a bullet is. It's a tiny rock. It's refined metal, yes, but what is metal except rock? All metals come from rocks. Before we had guns, we had bows. It's a wood stick. Boing! That shoots a rock. And before we had bows, we had spears being hurled away. And before we had spears, we had rocks hurled at people. So much of humans' military capability is rocks and sticks. What is a missile except a metal stick full of explosive rocks? What is a nuke except a metal stick full of very, very explosive rocks? What is a cannon except a metal tube that shoots explosive rocks? Yeah, we figured out how to make the rocks go boom and throw some fire into that mix. But before we had the invention of gunpowder, people were tying smoldering rags to the ends of their arrows to launch a little fire at people. No, it's not as common as you'd think, but it would be used in sieges. I'm going to shoot this arrow over the wall and hopefully hit someone's thatch roof and cause a fire. So, that's all a gun is. It's a tube that kills things by throwing rocks at them. And in good old America, you have the right to own a gun. You are allowed by the Constitution to own a gun. Why is it easier to get a gun than it is to get a driver's license? Why can I give my 5-year-old loin spawn a tiny little 22, but they can't get a driver's license until they're 16 at minimum? I believe that gun control and safety courses should be mandatory in schools. At an early age, as early as possible. Oh, children can't learn how to use this. They're too stupid. No, they're not. I learned gun safety before I was 5. I didn't play with gun toys because Dad taught me guns aren't toys. If you ever play pretend with a gun, you take a wood stick and start doing the dakka, dakka, dakka. If you ever do that to your brother, I'm going to lecture you. Because you are pointing an imaginary gun at another person. You don't point guns at people unless you want to kill them. And more people need to learn that. Think how the childhood mortality rate for improperly stored guns would plummet if every single child knew since kindergarten, this thing kills stuff. That's what it does. It will kill you dead. Because, frankly, if you're going to be a citizen of the nation, you should know all your rights. And why the fuck should you pledge allegiance to something that you don't know all the rights of? I still remember my kindergarten first day doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I remember doing that every fucking day of school, and yet I didn't start learning my rights as an American citizen until I was in junior high. Why am I pledging allegiance to something that I know fuck all about? So, gun control in school. It's not that hard. A lot of older buildings have fucking rifle ranges down in their basement. My high school, South Kitsap, has a fucking rifle range down in the basement that the ROTCs use to practice on. Why do only the ROTC kids get gun safety courses? Oh, well, they're joining, the military preparation program. Why not make it a mandatory class? If I had to learn Washington State history to get my diploma, why not throw on, you got to spend 3 months learning how to use guns, learning to respect the gun, learning that this is just a tool. It's not some mystical source of power that will suddenly make your dick bigger and your balls drop 6 inches. It is just a tool. It is no different than a hammer, a reciprocating saw, also known as a sawzall, a drill. Those are all tools. Tools for constructing, but tools nonetheless. And I got to play it around in woodshop. I remember seeing some guy spurt blood. That was horrifying. So why not make gun education a mandatory class in public schools if, as a nation, we are expected to be able to own a gun? Makes perfect sense to me. Here you go, Timmy. You've got gun safety next semester. Make sure you bring your earplugs and safety goggles down to the range when Mr. Ragebrew tells you how to use a gun. Hell, fucking plenty of former military dudes could be the specialist for that. It's like, yeah, every few days I go down and teach gun safety at the local high school, at the local junior high, at the local middle, at the local elementary school. Teach them in fucking kindergarten. The first thing they should be teaching these kindergartners isn't your ABCs, but this is your rights as an American citizen. What's a right? It is something that being a citizen says you get to have. What's a citizen? Yes, reading, writing, arithmetic is all vital, but frankly, so is knowing your fucking rights. So is knowing at the earliest of age what you are allowed to do as an American citizen. Because if you're going to have them pledge allegiance to your flag, you might as well tell them everything that your flag stands for. Oh, they're too young to understand. No, they're not. They just don't have the context. They don't have the understanding of all the little minutia that goes into it. But kids are smart. Kids can soak up new information like a fucking sponge in a tub of water. It's all a matter of speaking them to a way they understand. And frankly, with my experience with little ones, they understand big adult words just fine. You might have to say it a few times, explain what something means with context they understand. But no, they can understand that shit just fine. So stop using the justification that kids are dumb to not teach them important things that they should know as an American citizen. You want to tote about how everyone gets to have a gun, and you'll give your fucking child a gun when they're little ones. Well, you got to teach everyone about the guns. And knowledge is power. I'm not saying everyone must own a gun, but I'm saying everyone should know the gun. Should understand a fundamental part of American history that got us where we are in our blood-soaked path of conquest across this nation. Why did the English colonies succeed when the Spanish ones failed? The English let us have guns. The Spaniards, their citizens weren't allowed to have guns. Made them easy targets. The natives who said, "Get the fuck off my land, our land, this land, you're not welcome here." They were driven off because they had no means to go, "Get off my lawn." So, gun control starts with education and teaching people that a gun is just a tool, nothing more. Black Lives Matter. Automate the means of production. Go forth and conquer. Until next time.